This is episode 6 of the Hybrid Coaching Podcast. In this episode, James Kelly and I are going to talk to you about goal setting and how to hit milestones along the way, as well as looking back at your past goals and how that can help move you forward. Additionally, we get into the Hyrox World Championships, which are going to take place this Friday in Nice, France. For the elites, will be Friday night, the age groupers will be Saturday, and the doubles and relays will be on Sunday. We will both be in attendance, and we hope to see everyone there. Let's make hybrid fitness work for you. All right, welcome to the Hybrid Coaching Podcast. We are about a week away from Hyrox World Championships, and it's getting exciting. JK, how you been?
Very good. Very well. Thank you, Mr. Pericini. I'm excited to see you next week now.
Yeah.
Excited to see you.
I got some news earlier. I'm real excited. I actually get to fly to Nice now. I had a flight credit that I didn't know about waiting for me from my engineering and management job. Apparently, they booked a ticket for me last year when they had hired me, and they never used it, had a non-refundable ticket, and then we went to training at a different time. So I've had a $1,200 flight credit for Delta sitting in my account, apparently, under a different email. And they told me that it was about to expire on May 31st. And we're like, here, go ahead, take it. You can use it for personal travel. We just want it to be used because somebody booked non-refundable, so we can't get our money back. I was like, all right. So they gave it to me, and then I was like, all right, I'm going to take my time off now because I'm going to fly to Nice. So I'm looking forward to next Wednesday. I'm going to be flying for about 15 hours with a 22-month-old baby.
And that's exactly what you're excited for.
Absolutely. And then I get to be there. I'm super excited to watch you guys. This is going to be such a fun race.
Well, trust me, mate. It'll be worth the flight. It'll be worth the flight.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So no, it's come up quickly. It's in a good way. I say that in such a good way, right? Like,
yeah.
It's Thursday afternoon now. I've got a couple more days of good training and getting into the taper week. I'm excited for. From my end, Georgie has just left. She's actually meeting her parents in Paris, and doing a few. I think they're going to a few little towns before meeting myself in Nice on Tuesday, but I'm staying here in Glasgow until Sunday.
You dropped her off at the airport already? Is that?
Yeah. She's gone. Yeah, she's just landed. Actually, she just sent me a message. She's just landed in Paris, so it'll be just me here in Glasgow until Sunday.
Oh, and man, 5 days without Georgie. What are you gonna do?
I know. So a few things that she actually does for me that I've never touched. So like she actually had to I hate saying this, but it's the truth. She had to teach me how to put the washing machine on today. So those
That's
type
great.
of things.
That's fantastic.
I'll be fine for 5 days, Anthony. I'll be fine.
You're gonna come back to a whole pile of dirty clothes.
Yeah, or
up in the corner like, Georgie, I could have figured it out. I just went and bought new ones.
Or I just won't wash for the 5 days. No, yeah. I need to, because you'd be the same training like so much. Like I go through sometimes 3 pairs of clothes throughout the day, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, it's crazy. The washing machine just like gets used so much.
Yeah, I mean, we go through laundry. So there's 3 of us. Lauren obviously goes through a lot of clothes each day. I go through several different clothes each day just because I have my work clothes. I got my workout clothes. I usually go through like 2 pairs of workout clothes, which includes like 2 or 3 t-shirts. And then we have Lily's clothes too, which pile up, right? Because she's in different outfits and she's a toddler and she just gets real messy.
Yeah.
throughout the day. So she goes through like 2 or 3 outfits a day. So we end up, loads of laundry basically every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just been super fun. But I'm excited because this episode is more likely than not going to come out after a few things that I am excited to announce. So first off, this should come out after our Road to Nice video is out. So, I mean, I know you haven't seen it. I haven't even seen it yet. It should be done here tomorrow or the next day, and I'm gonna try to get it out as quick as possible. But made a video for all of our elite athletes, and then we also made a video for all of our age group and team athletes that are competing in the World Championships. Everybody should go check that out if you haven't already. I'm hoping it is just a fun, nice thing for our athletes to look at, but kind of did some interviews with them, took a whole bunch of videos and clips, and we'll be able to put that together and show it as like CrossFit used to do Road to the Games. This is
Yeah.
kind of our road to Nice through
Yeah.
Hyrox, right?
I
So,
like I'm so excited for it, Anthony. Like right here, right now, I haven't watched it, right? May I ask, like the hybrid engine, how many athletes are racing at Worlds from the hybrid engine?
okay, so not all of them wanted to be in the video, which I understand.
Mm,
So what I do have though is I have a count of who's been a part of it, who qualified. So in the Elite 15, we obviously have you. We have my wife, Lauren, I have Lauren Griffith and Kate Davey. So 4 out of the 30 athletes are there. And then in the other qualifiers, so age group and team races, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and then 2, 3. So we have 15 other athletes, so 19
right.
total. Well, actually,
Actually,
that doesn't include a couple one-to-ones. These are just people that responded. So it's not everyone, but we have about 20 other athletes, and I think 2 of them qualified but never didn't accept their spot, so they're not going to go to Nice. But I think it was pretty good. I mean, our first year of training, and to have 4 Elite 15 athletes and 20 in the other groups, all over the world too, not just US based. So
yeah,
that's
great.
exciting. Yeah.
That is exciting, and congratulations. Just on that, I've got 19 as well. I've got
Do you?
19
That's
athletes
awesome.
as well. Yeah, 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 which is great. So obviously, I'm excited for Friday night for myself and um my race, but I'm excited to like have the weekend then to represent my own, me as a coach and help my
So
athletes out as much as possible. Yeah,
does Georgie race on Saturday?
she does.
She
Yeah,
does. So you're busy
yeah.
Saturday. I was thinking maybe, I don't know yet, but maybe while we're in Nice, since the 5 of us can all get together, you Elite Four and me, get together and just have a sit down. Like that'd be fun to put out as like a special episode on our podcast like that.
It'd be great if we could try and set that up, right?
Yeah.
I'm assuming
Are you
Kate.
in are you in
Sorry.
Georgie racing doubles?
No, we're not. So I've got obviously Friday night, Elite 15, and then I've got the mixed relay on the Sunday
Sunday
evening,
night.
which I'm excited for. It'll be totally different, right, to Friday night, but yeah, it'll be exciting.
I think there's gonna be a lot of hype around that relay. I'm real excited for it.
Mm,
And then the other thing I wanted to just announce, if anybody finds me at the venue, anytime after the elite race, please don't bug me during the elite race. I get way more anxious and excited than a lot of the athletes do watching you guys run. But if anybody does find me, I'll have t-shirts for the hybrid engine, and um, I went ahead and got patches for anybody's backpack
nice.
or anything. That little
Lovely.
Velcro patches you can attach to your Built for Athletes bag, or other patches that you can attach to a lot of different things. So
Yeah, awesome.
I'm
Awesome.
excited for anyone to.
Just on that note, like the first time I was meeting Anthony was at, and like we already had started working together was at the Washington race this year. Like when was that? Like end of or start of February
beginning
or
beginning of Washington was beginning of March.
beginning of March. And what he just said is so true. Like, do not go up and try to talk to him when Lauren is racing. And I love that because like I tried to and sorry, I didn't really try to because I was warming up, but he's so you're
Yeah,
so funny, but like in such a good way because like you can tell you're so passionate and like wanting to make sure that you're doing your job as well. And yeah, it's really great to see.
yeah, I don't mean to be rude if I am, but
No.
I get really into their races and sometimes like I just get tunnel vision and so I'll focus on who's racing and what they're running and everything and I won't see somebody calling my name or something. So I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm not trying to be like ignoring you, but when the race is over, I promise I'm a very happy and like sharing everything person. Uh
Yeah.
just during the race I get tunnel vision, so
And look, like I'll be the same, like especially with Georgie on Saturday morning. I think it's a given that like for myself, I'll only talk about myself, but it's amazing to see like your own like partner in crime like getting after it and obviously helping her along her journey as well as a coach to some extent. I'll be tunnel vision, especially for her as well. So I totally understand that, Anthony. So
so
um, no, that's cool, mate.
yeah, I'm really excited. I hope we get to see everyone there, and I hope we have a really good weekend for podium
Yeah,
finishers. It's possible this year, and I want it to happen.
yeah, that's the plan, mate.
Uh, so
That's the plan.
the topic of this episode, kind of bringing it around, is goal setting. We're about to finish up basically the Hyrox season, and I know there are other hybrid fitness, and hybrid fitness season can go year round. But when you get into a finite stopping and starting point, kind of post World Championships is a time to reassess what you're going to do. So, JK, after Worlds, I'll tell you right now, we're going to have another goal setting session. Like you mentioned, when we started working together, one of the first things I ask you is, especially in my questionnaire that I send you, is what are your goals? We have to have something that we're striving for. And that is broken down into having a main goal. What is your main focus? And then what are some little milestones we can hit to achieve that goal on the way? And also, what are some other ones? We don't want side quests. I don't want like, well, I want to, PR my marathon, and then I also want to hit a 500-pound back squat and a 5-minute mile on the way to it because those are kind of conflicting, right? They're not going
Mm.
to lend well to each other. But we can still train all that at once. Now, saying that, I don't also want to say like, oh, I want to go PR my marathon and then I want to do something completely different. I want to go hike Mount Kilimanjaro or something like along the way. There's going to be side quests on the way, but they're not that tangential. Um, so when we talk about goal setting, what happens like when you achieve your goal? So when we first started working together, JK, your goal was I want to get into that Elite 15 at Worlds. We worked together and you achieved it. Like that was a big goal. That was the goal. But what happens when you reach that goal,
Mm.
right? You're like, oh, perfect. World's done. I'm just going to sit back and relax and enjoy the rest of my life. No more to do,
Yeah.
right? That's not kind of how it goes. So once you achieve that goal, now you have to look ahead again, right? There's always a higher mountain, there's always another mountain peak, there's always something ahead for you to continue towards. So you hit your goal of being an elite 15 athlete. After that, okay, what's the next goal? And usually when I talk about goal setting and I sit down with my athletes, I tell them, I want you to do a goal that is a long-term goal. I want you to do a goal that is a short-term goal. and we can add some things to that. Uh, if you want to share your goals, JK, you can, but otherwise we can just talk about what happened after you qualified for the Elite 15.
Yeah. So, like I've been a big believer in goals, long term, short term, and what have you. But the main thing from my end that I've always understood about myself, and I'll obviously just talk about myself, um, that like what you just said is so true, Anthony, that I've learned about myself is as soon as I hit a goal, like, as soon as I did what I did in Cologne, and I think just on that, like, and the story behind that, um, the way I did that was very powerful to me, and obviously was very meaningful, and due to that, yeah, like once you achieve a goal, like my first thing is to make sure that you are proud of it, um, and make sure that you give yourself some time to go, I'm actually really proud of myself, and to pat yourself on the back. But I still remember as soon as I hit what I did in Cologne, it was midday and I was able to, do what I did. And Georgie ended up racing that afternoon. We had a great day, went to bed. I woke up on the Sunday and all I could think about is Worlds. My whole vision, or my whole I had the time already, and it was just natural that I was just like, yep, that is done. I'm in. Let's go for my next goal. And like, without talking about it too much, but um my next goal was ultimately to get in the best shape possible for Friday night's race, World Championship. And um I've spoken to my athletes about this, Anthony, about, yeah, like it's all well and good to achieve that goal, but at the end of the day, straight after that goal, guess what? Like, and this is the harsh reality, like the sun comes up the next day and nothing changes, or not nothing changes, but life continues. Um, and always seeking, or not always trying to find a goal, not necessarily find a goal, but always have something to be working towards, is so important. Um, and yeah, I like, just again, like, I'm sure after Friday night we'll be sitting down and having another discussion about
Yeah.
the goals.
So
Does that all make
about
sense?
yeah, about the goal. So the way I see it is you could have gone one of two ways. You hit your big goal. That was the first immediate goal, and it was just something short term. We hadn't been working together very long. I wanted just something like immediate, right? And then now we're like, okay, you achieved that goal. Now what do you want to do? Your goal was to make the Elite 15. You could very easily, you had a great time in Cologne, and you could have very easily have just said, okay, cool, I made the Elite 15. I'm just going to go there and race. Doesn't matter what my place there because I'm part of it, you know? And that, and some adjacent sports like CrossFit, that happens. People are like, I just want to make the games. And then,
Mm.
like, well, what do you do when you get there? Are you just going to like phone it in? I don't care if I'm heat one, like, doesn't matter. Well, do you want to go there and just like participate, or do you want to go there and compete? So we kind of set some goals as, okay, your first upcoming goal then after Cologne became, how do you want to do at Worlds? And then we set some smaller goals along with that. So, the goal of placement, because placement's the most important at a big race like this. That's what matters. Time doesn't matter. Um, So we have a placement goal, and then we have like mini goals inside that that are things you want to personally achieve in the race.
Mm.
So what those do is those types of things contribute to that main goal. The way it kind of works is I'll jump to another athlete, Lauren Griffith. Lauren Griffith had the goal when her and I first started working together of I want to run in the majors. Well, she went and did her first race in Hyrox after we were working together in Chicago outside of the majors. She was the open pro or the pro category, and she won the race, got a great time, got into that top 15 in times, and then went and ran another race, went and ran LA, which got her an even faster time, one of the fastest. She's one of 7 women to ever break 62:30 in a Hyrox race. And she got her invite to Stockholm, but it was the same weekend as DecaFit Worlds, and she decided she wanted to go do that instead because that was a world championship. And she went in there and did amazing. Her first time doing those. We were just doing DecaFits to help shape her up for Hyrox at the time. She went into DecaFit Worlds and came out with I believe, second or third place in Deca Fit. I think third place in Deca Fit and second place in Deca Mile. Like she went out and absolutely crushed the weekend, had a great weekend, and had skipped going to a major event for that race. Then we our goals were still Elite 15. She went to Vienna, had her struggling race, but she mentally was able to stay in there. And even after passing out between the lunges and the final run, she passes out, gets up, gets checked out, finishes her run, and goes unbroken on the wall balls. Now,
Mm.
she had a big break. She was 20 minutes behind everybody else because they sat there and checked her vitals. She was sitting against the fence, like all that kind of stuff was happening. And then we go, okay, DC. We didn't want her to have to go to any of the last chance qualifiers because we knew that would be putting way too much pressure on it. She wasn't having like the best day in DC, and we kind of just reevaluated her and like, look, you don't have to go win this race. You don't have to risk anything. Let's just qualify. Qualify, get that monkey off your back because when you see that as your final goal, everything's pushing down on that because you think that is so important when really
Mm.
like there's another one past it. Make this one a milestone. Don't
Yeah.
make it the final end all be all. This is everything or my life is over. And not that she was doing it that way, but you can't put that kind of pressure on yourself. So she goes in DC, runs a really good race, finishes in that fifth place spot, comfortably, happy, gets to qualify for the Elite 15 and doesn't have to worry about going to a last chance qualifier. That was like
Mm.
one of the biggest things for her is she didn't want to have to go, and now she doesn't. We get through, and as soon as that race is over, it's like, hey, Lauren, we were working together for 6 or 7 months at that time. You achieved your first goal when her and I first were talking. The number one goal she had was to get into the Elite 15 for Hyrox. And I'm like, that's your major goal. What's next? Now you're going to the Elite 15. What's next? And she set a couple goals. And just as an example on some of these, she wants to, you know, do really well at Worlds. And she has goals of like by the end of next season, so not 2024 World Championships, but by 2025 World Championships is a long-term goal, breaking that 60-minute barrier, which for a lot of women has been really like, the standard.
The
Um,
pinnacle.
but there's other directions there too, because 7 women have broken 62:30, but only 4 women have ever gone under 62 minutes in a Hyrox. And only 3 women have gone under 61 minutes in a Hyrox. And only 2 women have gone under 60 minutes. So it's like, well, there's steps along the way to that goal. Instead of focusing so much at one time, let's knock little pieces out of this goal at a time. Instead of going from a 62:17, which is her time, down to a sub 60 where you got to take 2.5 minutes off, why don't we look at like, well, 61:45, take off 30 seconds. Where can we do that there? 61:15. Let's do that there. So her long-term goal is a sub 60. We'll get to that. On the way there, we have the World Championships now. The World
Mm.
Championships, she obviously wants to do well. She has a placement finish goal, right? But within the race, what does she want to do? I asked her, what do you want to do within the race? And some of her things were, I want to run this pace for all my runs and not bleed out time on the back end. So she wants to have either consistent or negative splits. That is a fantastic goal. If you can do that in the race, you're going to have a really good race. It doesn't matter really what else is going on. That will lend itself to a high placement, right? And they're
Absolutely.
racing. So if you have more energy to do that, that's a fantastic thing to have as a goal. She has a goal of doing unbroken wall balls, not after she passes out, but unbroken wall balls at the end of the race, right? That goal will help her achieve her placement goal. That goal will help her achieve her time goal. So those kind of things really lend themselves to hitting these milestones, these checkpoints to achieve that goal. But
Yeah.
once you reach that goal, you need to extend it. What's
Yep.
the next thing? What's our
That's
further down the road? Because we're going to get there. And then once we do, you have to keep looking past it.
Yeah. And like just another example, I've asked my athletes in the past what their 5 year goal is, or goals are, what their 1 year goal is, and then what their 3 month goal is, right? So I've actually put a very long term goal, a long term goal, short term goal,
Yeah.
very long term, yeah. And the way I view it, right, and I'd like your opinion on this, is that, most of the time, the 5 year goal, the long term, right, is very similar to the the habits and the daily routines that you should be concentrating on now to get to your 3 month, to then get to your 1 year, to then get to your 5 year. Now I'm just using those three times just because I've used them as a coach. But I always go back to, all right, it's great. And sorry to kind of change the subject, because we were talking about the in race goals, but you know I always flip the idea, Anthony, with my athletes and go, these are great goals, but how do you get there? And I always go, how do you get there? Well, we do what we need to do right here, right now, with the daily routines and daily habits and what have you. Does that
Yeah.
kind of make
Yeah.
sense? Yeah.
It's a lot of little parts make up the sum, right? So little things here and there, little goals, smaller goals, and then you'll look back on it and you'll see, wow, I've come a long way.
Yeah.
And so you can have that, just that perspective eventually. You probably right now you have a big goal that's in front of you. That's what you want, right? If you were to achieve that goal and then get past it, you go to the next one. Okay. Your next goal, you go back. Like for you, for example, let's um I'm gonna I'm gonna go through this, and it's not necessarily what your goals were, but I'm gonna use it as a big example. You achieved your original goal of making the Elite 15. That was the goal. So let's pretend like your next goal was, I'm gonna win the World Championships, right? And let's say you go there and you achieve that goal. And then the next year, it's, I'm going to break a world record and win the world championships. You go there, you achieve both of those. If you look back at your original major milestone that at the time seemed so big, making the Elite 15, right? It doesn't seem that crazy anymore. It's
Yeah.
it's like, oh,
Agreed.
look at where I am now. Like I had to achieve that to get to this point, but that isn't even a thought now, because
No.
after you winning and you're compounding, you not just that you expect to be there and the next time, but you're achieving it. Yes, you have to get to
Mm.
that goal first, and it's difficult to get there, but you look back on it and it's like that is not as lofty as a goal as it could have been. There was
Absolutely.
always something past it, but you have to have something to focus on. Okay. Now, I think that's a great goal for people. I want to make the Elite 15. I don't think they should sacrifice more important things in their life for it, but like that's a good goal. Fit it into your lifestyle, how you get there, how you're able to do that,
Mm.
and then move on for it. Like this concept, I know people when they were, especially when I was wrestling and stuff, a lot of people would like write their goals on their mirror, their bathroom mirror in the morning, because that was just, the era we were in. So they would write all their goals on their bathroom mirror, and their bathroom mirror was like win a state title for wrestling, right? That so every morning they woke up and they saw there's my goal. And I do think that's important. I think repetition, having your goals is important. I think seeing them every day is important, no matter who you are. So you should write it on your bathroom mirror. You should have a notebook and you write a sentence, a one sentence goal, and just write it every single day that you're on the path to that goal. By the end, if you filled up that notebook, you will be much closer to the goal than you imagine
Yeah.
because it's just a focus on it and it's a reassessing in your mind every single day. When you're losing weight and you're doing stuff like that, it doesn't come off all at once. And if it does, you need to slow down, you're in trouble. Uh, but it's very, very gradual. It's a pound here in this week. It's a half pound in this week. It's 2 pounds over this month. It's not usually like, unless you're really overweight, it's not going to be 20 pounds in a month. It's not going to
Mm.
be these big swings, and some of it can be water weight. So you need to have your goal in mind, keep track of your goal, focus on it. And then once you're past it, look back and be like, wow, that was such like a big undertaking for me to have taken that I thought at the time like it seemed insurmountable that I wasn't going to be able to do this. And then to have look back on it and say, wow, I did that. Hey, maybe here's another one. It's a little bigger, right? I can do this. And you gain confidence doing that. So you start small, build it up, and then by the time you see where you're at, it's like, hey, I got all of this done.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think another really specific uh goal that I talk about with my athletes a lot, going back to like, let's just call it a very specific race goal or having a goal inside a goal. That's how I view it. A goal inside a goal, right? Like as an example, if you're listening to this and your goal is to get a specific Hyrox time, right? That's great. And that is what you want to achieve, and that's what you're working towards. Now, what's going to help you get there is actually looking at what Hyrox is and going, okay, if I can run 5 seconds, 10 seconds faster per kilometer, um, that's going to ultimately help you achieve that goal. And I always say specifically, and to get to the point, you should try and have a goal that is running based. Not everyone, sorry, but you should have a goal that is all to do with your average pace in a Hyrox race. That is so to work that out truly, it's your run total plus rock zone time divided by 8.7.
Yep.
And that's just an example of a goal that I've worked with a lot of my athletes because it's not, as we all know in Hyrox, not every course is the same and not every run is 1 kilometer. So you shouldn't go run total divided by 8. Every course is 8.7 kilometers with the rock zone. So rock zone time plus run total time divided by 8.7. That's what I try to get my athletes to think about it, because that time, ultimately, if you're really trying to improve that, that's going to help you achieve that overall time goal then.
Yeah. Definitely. And if you have a pace goal or something, that's a good way to go about it is to do
Yeah.
your run total plus your rock zone total divided by 8.7, and that'll give you your pace per kilometer. And if you need to do a conversion to miles, 1609.34 divided by 1,000 multiplied by your time. That's
What
the
was that?
ratio.
Sorry.
If you're trying to do if you're trying to do a conversion to
To
pace per mile
miles.
instead of pace per kilometer.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but anyway, yeah, that's kind of goal setting, guys. Make sure that you have some way to track it, something you're doing for it. It's very important. And if you get the opportunity, you're listening to this now, if you can leave us a review or a follow or subscribe, whatever platform you're listening to this on, whether it's Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, Spotify, or YouTube, or any of the other platforms you choose to stream it on, we'd really appreciate it. You can find JK at, go ahead, JK, where can people find
Uh,
you?
JK.hybridcoaching on Instagram, or James Kelly and Georgie Vesley on YouTube. Like and subscribe whilst you're there.
Their YouTube's great, guys. It's their whole journey. They've been traveling for a year. If you get them up to that, let's get them up to 1,000 subscribers. That'd be fantastic.
That's
It's
the
the
plan.
Hybrid
That's the
Hub.
plan.
It's
Yep.
it's
Yep.
fun to it's fun to watch your guys' videos. I enjoy them. I know
Thank
I
you.
watch them like during my warm-ups and during my runs. So Georgie puts out some funny ones on the shorts. So if you guys really want to laugh sometimes, watch some of the shorts that she
She
does
does,
where
mate. She's great on them actually. So,
and make sure to have your sound up too, because she does some commentary.
oh yeah,
She'll film you and then do some overlaid voice commentary.
voiceovers
It's
and
really
stuff.
funny.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Uh
No, she's really good. And yourself, mate?
yeah, and you can find me a Wild Parasini on Instagram, or you can go to the Hybrid Engine on Instagram or the Hybrid Engine website. We'd love to see if our coaching is the right thing for you. And if you'd like to join us on our tracks. We're about to wrap up the Hyrox season at the end of next week. And after that, anybody that didn't go to Worlds, you'll have a test week followed by off-season build plans. And if you are still preparing for DecaFit, you'll be in there too. So we'll get to talking sometime on this about what do you do in the off season. I think that'd be a great episode topic coming up. But otherwise,
Absolutely.
guys,
And
yeah,
if you're racing next weekend, best of luck. And please, after Friday night, come up and say hello to Anthony or I if you see us.
yeah,
We'd love to meet you.
yeah. I'll have a lot of shirts. I'll have the patches. You guys make sure you come say hi. Just please do it after Friday, after the races are done. And thanks, guys. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share with people.
Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you soon.